ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Brought to you by Huntington Federal Savings Bank. Local then, local now. Member FDIC.
Welcome into the Thursday, October 3rd edition. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. You can join the program this hour by calling the Miller Lite phone lines at 877-420-TALK. That is 877-420-8255. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. It is the original light beer. We got a fun show for you coming up. It's going to be as eclectic as possible, which I'm sure you've come to expect from this program. It is very eclectic because today, John Mercer's joining me, Marshall tennis coach. We'll talk to him. The tennis program getting set to head out to the Virginia Tech Invitational, and that's coming up on Friday, so we'll talk to John for a few minutes. And you know me, I'm going to talk hockey with John probably as well, since we are bitter rivals when it comes to the game on ice, which got started last night, so we've got a lot to talk about there, mostly tennis, though. And then in studio a little bit later on, I have got professional bull rider Bryan Titman. He will be on the program about 5:30. Now, I am interested to talk to him because, one, I want to find out what it is about professional bull riding that made him want to get into it. I mean, do you just wake up one day and go, I think I'm going to go ride a bull? I mean, seriously, do you wake up and go, I'm going to ride a bull and then I'm going to get paid for that? Because you got to be crazy to do that, right? Is there a little bit of insanity that goes on? I need to find out. So I'm going to have the opportunity. We're going to pick the brain of Bryan Titman. Of course, the Professional Bull Riders Pendelton Whisky Velocity Tour Huntington Invitational takes place at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena. It's going to be tomorrow and Saturday. So we're going to talk to him. And later on, we'll get your phone calls in at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. So that's what we got situated for the show. I'm going to let those guys do most of the talking. I'm in voice-saving mode because we are on, I think, almost a full week of whatever Gabriel Sellards, our show producer, has given me. Now, he's been arguing with me all week long that I did not get whatever I have, whatever ailment has affected me or impacted me. He has argued every single day, no, it's not me, even though he was the only ill person that I have been around in the past week or so. He wants to argue symptoms, just to talk about what symptoms do you have today. Mine are different. And so it's your fault, Gabriel. I'm blaming you completely. It's I should just make you host the show. Let me say, I've got to say the voice for Saturday. Saturday's the big day. We got Marshall, Middle Tennessee coming up. We're going to be at Roosters. We're going to have a busy day on Saturday because we've got Roosters. Not only that, I'm going to be looking down on Oktoberfest. Roosters, pregame, Oktoberfest, all at Pullman Square. And I'm going to be sitting pretty high and in a great location for all of that. Depending on the weather, I might just hang out on the porch because where we set up, I'm right there on the porch. So just about, I can just go out there and look down and see everything from my broadcast location. It's going to be fun Saturday. So we got the game. We got Oktoberfest coming up. And it's always a good time when we get back at Roosters. We haven't been there in a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, there's some news that's coming out from Athens, and this is just interesting to me. So let me tell you what's going on in Athens. All fraternities at the Athens campus, Ohio University's Athens campus, have been suspended effective immediately. Now, here is, according to the WSAZ report, according to a release from Ohio University, the decision was made due to a growing concern of hazing allegations against 7 interfraternal council chapters. So, chapter events, meetings, activities, all been suspended until further notice. And I'm kind of curious what's going on there, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But that's a big one right there. And of course, Athens, really, I'm sure the fraternities really come out and support athletics, especially football. So I'm kind of curious what's going on there. Thankfully, we haven't had that happen at Marshall. We're not seeing that going on right now. Of course, I would love to see more student support come to Marshall games, and I'm kind of concerned, depending on the outcome of Marshall, Middle Tennessee, what we're going to see with the crowd. I know we're looking ahead a little bit, but that was probably a top crowd this year. I don't know if Marshall's going to be able to get more. I mean, you get an opponent like Cincinnati coming in, and really a lot of expectations. So Herd fans still pretty disappointed. So hopefully Marshall can turn it around as we get set for Middle Tennessee, and it's going to be a different atmosphere for sure. I mean, that's the one thing, though. I'd love to see Marshall sell out more. I'd like to see Marshall get more show up at the stadium on a game day. But at the same time, you look at some of the other atmospheres around Conference USA, and you got it pretty good. To be fair, you got it pretty good. College athletics, attendance down in so many areas. But at the same time, Marshall, I think it's pretty solid. The core is there. You just try to expand on that a little bit more. But still, good crowd for the game on Saturday. I hope to see more. And I wouldn't let the Cincinnati game be the reason. I wouldn't let that be the reason that you went cold turkey, decided, I'm not coming anymore. Because I've seen that on social media. The fan that has to announce, and that's the thing. On social media, you have to announce it. You have to tell everybody, I've seen enough. I'm not coming. I'm done. Until things change, I'm not coming back. Oh, great. Just don't. Don't show up. Announcing it doesn't make it better. Announcing it does not make it more of a realization, does not make it truer, does not make it more effective. Just don't show up. Ticket sales alone will indicate your displeasure. If you're happy with things going, show up to the game. If you're not happy, don't show up. But it's like everybody's got to have a press conference on social media. I am not coming to the game. They got beat 52-14. I'm not coming to the game. I'm not showing up for this stuff anymore. Not going to do it. So just don't. Either come or don't. That's always been my thing. Just either come or don't. Support the herd. Don't support the herd. Real simple. Don't need a message in between. And of course, I'll tell you what. If you aren't happy and you don't buy tickets, it'll be noticed. It will be noticed completely. You can be a part of the program, 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255 to be a part of today's edition of the show. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to hear from John Mercer, head coach of the Marshall tennis program. Also, we're going to hear from professional bull rider Bryan Titman. He's going to be in studio as well. But let's hit the phones before we call it a break. Let's talk to Mark. He's checking in from Huntington. Go ahead. You're on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Hi, Paul. I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that you said
Sure.
earlier about the attendance. And that is, obviously everybody was very disappointed in the outcome of the game with Cincinnati. When we finally get an opportunity to play a quality opponent and try to make our mark in the football world and we stub our toe or we cut our foot off, essentially, it's hard because we don't get that many opportunities. And to flop, not just to lose, but to flop, is almost like putting salt in the wound to everybody who's trying to make their program better. And I know the players and the coaches, they certainly didn't go out to lose the game, but unfortunately, with the week off, they didn't prepare the way they should have for the game. I think that's pretty evident. And as far as the coaching staff goes, when you win, all things are somewhat forgiven, and when you don't win, everything comes to the forefront. And I think that's what's happening now. But we've got some other teams on our schedule. And I know you said you'd like to see more participation from the students and just the region in general, but it is what it is. When we're playing the teams that have East, West, South, North, International in their name, those aren't going to be big draws. I mean, I don't care who you are. You're not going to you're not going to be bringing in those kind of folks. But
let me stop you there, Mark. Let me stop you there.
They got it.
Because I've always felt that it shouldn't matter the name of the other team on the schedule. And let me finish this thought, and then I'll tell you, I'll circle back on this. I always thought that it is more important that Marshall was playing on game day than the other team. Now, I would like to see a more exciting schedule, but you can't control conference. That's impossible. You've got the conference schedule you have, and Western Kentucky's coming in, and I like seeing Marshall play them. La Tech, haven't seen them in a while. They're a good team. FIU, that's an interesting team to watch at home. You're on the road against Charlotte and Rice and Florida Atlantic and, of course, this Middle Tennessee team. But I do think that it should matter more that it's Marshall on the schedule, not Marshall versus East, West, North, South, or, Central, anybody.
Sure, and I concur with that. I agree with that. I mean, I'm there to watch Marshall play. I'm not there for the opponent because I really hope we crushed it, whatever team we're playing. But the fact remains, if WVU played a Conference USA schedule, they probably would have a tough time filling their stands as well. People get tired of playing. I don't want to say it's a bad sense. Conference USA, where do we rank in the football rankings? The bottom. I mean, even the MAC I think is ranked higher than Conference USA is. So to play that schedule, and it is what it is. Some years it's going to be better, some years it's not. But unfortunately, the last several years, Conference USA has been on the downside of the roller coaster, not on the upside.
I look at the future schedule, though. Pitt, Boise State are coming in. East Carolina's coming in 2021. Appalachian State, which for me, I like that game. They're a good opponent. It brings back some memories for me. Navy's coming in, Army's coming in. I know these are all future schedules, but I think there is an effort to bring in better non-conference opponents, games that also I think herd fans will enjoy. But it's on the conference members to try to better themselves and to try to become better. I know Marshall's trying to do their part.
That's what we did when we were in the MAC. I mean, we started dominating the MAC, and the MAC had to raise their game to play with Marshall, and they did. In Conference USA, somebody's got to raise the bar to get it up there so that you start beating these Power 5 teams and not get beat 52-14.
No, I agree. You when you play these teams, you got to make the most of the opportunity. Marshall almost got the win against Boise State and laid an egg against Cincinnati, and so now. The best hope Marshall can hope for is a successful run in conference, get to the championship game, win that. It was going to be very hard for Marshall to change its bowl future anyway, unless Marshall ran the table and then was in consideration for a New Year's Six bowl. I don't think that the Marshall's bowl hopes were going to change with a win or loss against Cincinnati. The only thing that's going to dictate Marshall's bowl hopes right now are Marshall in conference. But hopefully it'll get to the point where if Marshall can sell out on a frequent basis and Marshall can bring more revenue into the program and better the program, dominate Conference USA, get it to the point where Marshall is the top team by default because Marshall's so much better than everybody else. And, that takes support. Not just an athletic budget, Fans have got to show up. What would it be like?
It also takes bigger players, and we proved that this past week. We don't have the players to play with some of these other teams.
Well, the football team's Doc's responsibility. The fan part is the fan responsibility. If the fans are showing up,
I agree.
Yeah, if the fans are showing up, I think that helps no matter what.
And they came. They came this
past
did. Week.
And I'd like to see that continue, though. I hate to see fans go, you know what? I came, I saw, you let me down. Well, come again, because you know what?
We can't give up.
Yeah, Old Dominion's coming in.
We can't give up as fans. It's our team, it's our school, it's our community. We're going to support them, regardless. And our hope is they continue to improve, and I'm sure they will. And like you say, the next rung on the ladder is Conference USA, and that's the goal, the ultimate goal at the start of this season. There's only one team that's going to get into that Power 5 bowl game, and you have to run the table. we had the pipe dream of running the table because we had boys in Cincinnati to give us an opportunity, and we stubbed our toe. So with that being said, the next thing we have to do is, like what you just mentioned, we need to dominate Conference USA. That's what we have to do to let somebody else look at us and say, hey, we need these guys in with us. They're pretty good.
I agree completely.
Okay.
You got to make
have a good evening,
you got to make the product a lot more desirable. All right, we're going to take our first break. Either we're going to hook up with John Mercer when we come back, or we're going to get set for professional bull rider Bryan Titman. He's going to be in studio with us here in a few minutes as well. So we got a jam-packed show. And of course, we will make time for your phone calls at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. We got more on the way. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Now, back to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Marshall women's tennis team on the road, getting set for the Virginia Tech Invitational. Marshall head coach John Mercer now with us on the program. And you want to talk tennis, you want to talk hockey? Where do you want to go with this first, John?
Oh, you pick. Where do you want to start?
Penguins. They haven't played yet, so you're doing all right so far. So yeah, we can't talk too much trash there. Hey, the Rangers play tonight as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to watch that on.
Well, we're supposed to be a lot faster this year, so we'll see. Huh?
Got some speed on that team.
Made some changes, a lot quicker.
Ever since you brought me that back-to-back Stanley Cup hat that I think I wore one time and then put away because it's autographed, the Penguins have not been as good. I don't know if that's the reason.
Yeah, I think I guess I was listening somewhere they have 10 new people from difference from last year, and I think they're trying to bring in some guys that maybe a little hungry, right? So you get a little spoiled winning 2 in a row, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna clue you in on something. I hope that the Penguins get obliterated tonight. They're taking on the Buffalo Sabres.
How good's Buffalo's?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be, but I have Carter Hutton as my goaltender in my fantasy league. And I'm playing Cornwell. I need all the points I can to beat that guy. So I'm rooting for a failure tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So nothing personal.
You might be in trouble because I actually heard Danny Malcolm speaking English today.
Ooh.
And yes, which is a major event, and which is really nice to hear his thoughts for once. He said his goal is to score a goal every game.
That's a good goal.
You could be in trouble.
Well, I mean, as long as I get the points for the win, I'm good. But that's the sole reason why I'm interested in that game tonight is because of fantasy hockey. Carter Hutton, he's my goaltender.
There you go.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
Thank you. I drafted poorly when it came to goaltenders. I'm more of a winger heavy team now. I'm very heavy winger wise. I got right wingers and left wingers all over the place, John. But you
no centers.
I got a couple, but my problem is that I drafted Braden Point, and he's on the IR right now.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Not going to support him in.
So
not going to have too many points.
Yeah, I'm suffering a little bit there. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully,
season.
Hopefully, I do as well as you did. So last we spoke, you're getting ready for a joint invitational with West Virginia. How'd that go in your estimation?
Well, on two fronts, I thought it went pretty well. I thought that we did a very good job playing. We matched up pretty well against some good teams that I felt like, we probably wouldn't have matched up as well against last year. So you definitely saw improvement. I thought we did pretty well in the matches that we played against WVU, which was very encouraging. And as far as the tournament goes, it was really something I wasn't too surprised, but Mia, the West Virginia coach, she was a little surprised. There was a lot of support in Charleston. A lot of people who came up to us and wanted to really try to make it into a major event next year, put it on the city calendar. The city council wanted to get involved, some other boosters, couple Marshall boosters. They really want to see this kind of take off and be a big event in Charleston. So that was a pleasant surprise. That there was that much of a backing, and they heard what we were doing, and thought it'd be really a great thing to have every year, and wanted to really try to promote it. So we'll see what we can put together for next year.
Heading into the Virginia Tech Invitational, what are you looking to see out of this?
Continued improvement. Like I said, the ladies worked very hard over the summer. They've worked very hard since we've gotten back in the fall. You definitely see a big jump in their game compared to last spring when we finished up. And I think, like a lot of sports, there's always a big jump again, when you kind of go from that first event or match or, game or whatever to the second one. So this will be our second one. And, I think, we got to work on a lot of things these last 2 weeks. And hopefully, we'll see that. We'll see that jump and, that big improvement. And that's what we need to do. We need to continue to move in that direction.
John, you've been a victim of your own success. This program has played at a high level for so long, and then, with injuries and everything, that's kind of slowed you down these last couple of seasons. You feel good about where you're at right now? Is it almost back to the point where you want it, where you expect it to be?
We're almost there. We have a few more players coming in January, which will really help our team. So that'll make a big difference. And then I think that'll be a very good team. And then, I think one more step next year. We only have one senior on the team this year and one junior. So, get that one more recruiting class in, this one in January and the next one in August. I think, we could be really good. So, we're slowly working our way back there, and I think we'll get there.
John Mercer is our guest, Marshall tennis coach, getting ready for the Virginia Tech Invitational. So is this just Virginia Tech, or what other programs are involved?
Appy State's here, Radford, VCU, Virginia Tech, and us. So it's a good little mixture. VCU is always very good. They're always a top 50 program. So App State's doing pretty well. They're all, Radford's improved, and obviously we're getting better. And these are the matches you got to play. You got to show up at these things and kind of grind it out for 3 straight days. Compete really hard. Compete just as hard on the third day as you do the first day, and see what has stuck in our games and continue to get better, and see what we need to keep working on. So it's a great opportunity. Playing everybody from the Virginia Techs and VCUs to the Radfords and the App States. I mean, it's perfect for us.
Is this more of a round robin? Is this tournament seeded? How does this work?
So what's kind of happened over the years, from back in your Kelly Schmidt days, they used to play like flighted tournaments. So everything was flighted. So it was kind of all the number ones would kind of play in a bracket, play it out, so on. And now what we do is there's what they call a lot of mock dual events. So, like on Friday, we might line up and play Virginia Tech in doubles on a Friday, play Radford in singles Friday afternoon, come back on Saturday, play VCU in singles, play App State in doubles, and then so on to Sunday. So you're always mixing it up. And as crazy as it sounds, you can do that because you kind of mix it up like that. The days that you're playing singles and doubles, it only counts as one playing date. So, where when you line up and play a regular team match like we do in the spring, that actually counts as a playing date. So we can get 3 days of really 3 full matches in over this weekend, play 3 days, play 3 hard days, and then it counts as one date on our record. That leaves us some more days to, use for matches in the spring. So that's what you'll see, if you look at results, if you look at our webpage, look at results from the weekend, you'll see, we'll play one team, on Friday in singles, and we'll play maybe on a Sunday in doubles and so on. So it just gets mixed up like that.
John Mercer's with us. You're actually on the road right now, right? You're heading through the mountains.
Yeah, we actually just pulled in. So, we're here. So we'll, tennis schedule, you pull into these things, we'll practice. We'll actually hit a little inside for about 45 minutes, then we'll go outside, hit for about another 45 minutes, and then go to dinner, have a couple of team meetings after, just kind of go over some notes, who we're playing, just kind of what our expectations are, and do that type of thing. And then tomorrow morning we'll be here bright and early, warming up, so getting ready to play.
What time tomorrow morning?
We'll probably start at 9.
Okay.
That's kind of so we'll warm up usually about 7:30. We usually take about an hour warm up. Should get started early tomorrow. So.
Okay, so early bed for you tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, you can't stay up. You can't watch the Penguins and the Sabres too long. You got to go to bed.
Well, I'll probably sneak a little bit in. Catch some highlights here and there. Catch a couple Penguin goals, right?
Couple. Yeah, okay. Look, if they lose, if the Penguins lose, you're going to hear from me tonight. Let's let you know.
Oh, definitely. I would expect it.
Yeah, just plan on it. Just plan it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
funny.
feeling very confident right now.
Yeah, okay. Good deal. Well, good luck to your tennis team, not to your Pittsburgh Penguins. And
thanks. Yeah.
We'll do this again soon. Thanks for dropping on the show for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Paul.
John Mercer, Marshall tennis coach. Okay, when we come back from break, we're going to find out what compels a human being to decide I'm going to ride a bull and get paid for it. I'm gonna sacrifice probably my body to a animal and see who wins. I want to find this out when we continue. We have got in studio. We have got professional bull rider Bryan Titman. He is coming up next here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Presented by Huntington Federal Savings Bank.
Coming up this week at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena, it is going to be the Pendelton Whisky Velocity Tour. Professional bull riders are in town, and we've got joining us now on the program one of the top-ranked cowboys in the entire world. Bryan Titman is with us out of East Bernard, Texas. Already a top 10 finisher. What, 9 times out of 9 top 10 finishes?
I reckon so this year. Yes, sir.
You're not keeping stats. You're just going out there riding.
Yes, sir. Just doing what I do best.
All right, I've got several questions here for you. Of course, we're excited this is all coming up tomorrow and Saturday at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena, but I want to hit you with the hardest question you've probably been asked several hundred times. What made you decide just to wake up one day and decide, I'm going to ride bulls?
My dad and grandpa did it, so it's all I've ever known. Ever since I was a little bitty kid, that's kind of where I started at. I rode sheep, so it's always been in me.
Could you have done anything else? Would this been maybe option 2, 3, or 4 for you if you decided not to?
For sure. I had football. Football was in high school anyways, that's what kind of took place when I was in high school. Rodeo was always, bull riding was always there, but I kind of leaned more to playing football, and I was pretty good at it. So I just always fell over my heart and just kind of went back to riding bulls. It's kind of my family deal.
So money aside, because football, if you were really good at it, you probably could have made a lot more money. This is just more of a passion thing for you then.
Money's faster here. 8 seconds you can make, $50,000, so it's kind of hard to pass up that compared to what you can do in a season. Wait
a minute. If I'm good for 8 seconds, I can make possibly $50,000?
Yes, sir.
You guys got open sign up here? I might try this.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Once you get that kind of money, man, it's at you.
What makes this exciting for you? Because after a while, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, but it seems like every time's a new thrill for you guys, right?
Yes, sir, exactly. And that's football. You play the same. You might not play the same team, but it's the same play every time. So that's kind of was something you kind of get old with. It's a new city each weekend. It's a new bull. It's kind of cool. You get to meet new people. It's definitely adrenaline rush. It's a big adrenaline, and there's just so much going on that it's unreal. But when you do ride one, the fans are behind you. It's pushing you. You feel like you've done conquered everything in the world.
Bryan Titman's with us, professional bull riding back at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena. And what's the life like? Always on the road, it seems. Do you guys ever get a break? What's going on here?
Yeah, we're on the road every single weekend. I go back home throughout the week and do a little bit of stuff, Monday through Wednesday, and then I'm back on the road. But, it's a life I choose to live, and, I love to live it. It's kind of cool. You only can live it one time, so, you're not going to be able to do it forever. It's kind of bull riding. It's not not an older man sport, so you're going to do it as long as your body can hold up for it.
So it's more like you're like a NASCAR rider, driver. You're more, go show up the cities, do this, and go back home, then you're back on the road again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I was just kind of curious. You guys are everywhere with this thing.
Yeah, everywhere.
So, coming up, what makes this exciting for the fans? For maybe someone who, maybe the first time hearing this, we're talking about it, and they're like, "Okay, I didn't even know that was here. What's going on? How do you bring someone that has maybe no idea what this is all about to sit and watch you guys just ride these things?
It's just an action-packed show. It has a little bit of everything in it. It's the best show on dirt, if you ask for my opinion. You got the best guys versus the best bulls in the world. It's man versus beast, and there's not any other sport that has that. And then you got the thrill, and you got the injury factor. There's a whole bunch going on. You got the loud music. You got the lights. It's just a really cool deal. You'll bring anybody, any age up here just to kind of witness it and see it.
Now, this is, I think, grown leaps and bounds. You hear, okay, PBR is in town, and people instantly know what that is. Have you been surprised just by how popular this has gotten?
Oh, absolutely. This sport's growing super fast, and I think it has to do with how much money you can make in a short period of time also. So, and it's growing more than that. So, it's all going to keep growing. So that's that's an awesome deal, and it's a blessing to see like young guys come up behind you wanting to live your lifestyle and live that same thing and go out there and do what they love to do and get paid the way you should get paid.
If you're not successful instantly, is this a hard life? I mean, you obviously have been successful, but is it more risk reward? Could somebody do okay and make a good living at this, or is this basically the best of the best, and if you're not good enough, you wash out?
I say you could always, you could be mediocre and be all right. I mean, you wouldn't be up there living the high life, or you wouldn't be, able to do what you really want to do, but you could be mediocre and be all right and have a job back at home throughout the week and then come up here and ride bulls on a weekend if you're just that good.
Do you have basically split time between going back home, doing other things, or is this a full-time devotion for you?
This is pretty much full-time. I go back home, run the ranch a little bit, not a whole lot. This is me all the way, bull riding in and out.
Now, when people show up at this weekend, what can they expect to see? Maybe just explain to them how it's going to be for that first time person who takes their kid, maybe for the first time sees this. How does this work? Is it tournament style? Is it basically you're going out there, you're seeing competitors, try to best their time? How does this all work?
You're going to eventually, you're going to come out there, you're going to see, top 40 guys versus the top 40 bulls. Every guy has a bull drawn. And it's me versus the bull, so I can't beat anybody else unless I beat what I have down below me. So, we get judged on that, 50 for the bull, 50 for me. So depending on how I'm riding and depending on how bad the bull's bucking, then that kind of balances your score out. And at the end of the night, then it'll be tallied up of the top 10 scores, and then they'll hold on to that. Well, tomorrow, they'll take them scores also and combine them the 2 days together. The top 10 of the 2 days will go to the short round and get on the best bulls in the world.
Okay, so you versus the bull. If I get lucky and get a bull that can get me a lot of more points and I do well, I'm going to fare better. Or if I'm a great rider and I get not so good of a bull, it's going to be a little harder for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
you'll shoot up ahead of me. Let's just say, for instance, you're 86 and I was 82. Well, then we come back Saturday and you're 86 again. Or no, let's just say you fall off and I'm 92. Well, my two scores together are better than your score, so I boost up and I'll pass you up in the race.
Okay, and then you've got the short round where you're taking on the bulls.
Yes, sir.
So really, it's not about your other competitors. It's all about you and the bull.
Yeah, we're all brotherhood over there. Most of us have rode them bulls before or we've seen them, so we help one another. It's kind of cool. That's what's awesome about the sport that we do, because you can kind of lift each other up and push each other. Like, hey, I rode that bull last week. I can tell you kind of what he does. But if I was you, I'd ride him by feel because he could change it up. So it's kind of cool.
Okay, so really, it's the Cowboys against the Bulls.
Yeah.
Completely. And that's interesting because, I don't think about that.
Yeah.
We're really like, okay, it's just as a bull coming out here. But no, and they're making the circuit as well. So
and then bulls are just like us. They have to grow up through their ranks like we do. They're athletes. They train like we do. They have their own little workout gym type deal. They're awesome. I mean, they're superstars. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, they have to go up the ranks. That just because they're a bull don't mean they're just going to be at this level. They have to go to the amateur events, then work their way up to be up here.
Is it similar then to horse racing, where the horse itself is the athlete, the animal is what the attraction, but for you guys, it's you versus instead of you with them?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, do they have websites? Are there certain trainers? I mean, how, Are trainers getting points, and does it work like that, or?
The stock contractor gets points, but
Okay.
it's pretty much most of that goes off of just the bull. The bull gets his points, and that's how the bull gets his stats because their stats are going up. Like we're trying to make the World Finals, well, they're also trying to make the World Finals. So it's a race on both ends. The Bulls are having a race, and we're having a race.
Okay, so basically there's two types of teams competing here.
Yep.
It's the teams that own the animal, the bull, and then it's you and
Yes,
your
sir.
teams.
Yep.
Okay, see, this is a lot more exciting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it makes it, when you know your stuff, it's kind of right. It keeps you on the edge of your seat for sure.
Yeah, because, the stereotype of a bull rider. You just get on a bull, you ride it, and,
Yeah.
the clown comes out of the bucket and,
Yeah.
it helps wrangle the animal. I mean, that's the movie version
Yes,
of
sir.
this. This is, I'm sure those elements are there, but that's not really what this is in reality.
No, we're out there riding. It's a competition, us versus them, and then they're them versus us. So it's kind of, at the end of the year, you're going to see a world champion bull and a world champion bull rider.
Joining us on the program, Bryan Titman. He is out of East Bernard, Texas, and he's getting to see the world riding bulls. And this is all taking place over the Big Sandy Superstore Arena tomorrow and Saturday. And this is part of the Pendelton Whisky Velocity Tour's Huntington Invitational. And you're trying to make it to the championship, and that's pretty cool. That's that really puts a new light on this for me because, again, it's a growing sport, but I don't think enough people know still.
Yes, sir.
What it is that
and it's turning into stuff. We got fantasy teams coming up also,
Really?
so it's going to be just like football. It's just taking a little bit of time, but it'll be there.
How does that work?
It's going to be the same thing. You pick a bull, and it's going to pick a rider, and you just kind of balance out and just see how it works out.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I'm going to be playing fantasy bull riding. I'm already playing fantasy hockey, fantasy baseball. Might as well do that as well.
Exactly.
So this is all coming up, and of course, you've been already around Huntington today. You made a stop at the Children's Hospital, and how was that for these kids to see? I mean, because they see football players, basketball players, but what's it like when they find out that you ride bulls?
Heck, I don't know for them. I don't know. It might have been good. For me, it was 10 times better. Just seeing them smile and light up, that's the kind of cool deal. That's what I live for. Being able to talk to people and meeting new people and just showing the world what, goods to come from. The Lord's always with you, shining, where everyone's getting to breathe. So that's kind of an awesome deal. No matter what, just keep taking out and just go at it. But I show them kids that I ride bulls and tell them that, they kind of look at me like, wow, this man's a superstar. And that's kind of cool on that.
Yeah, you guys find that everywhere then, right? Pretty family friendly, and the kids. What's it like for a kid maybe the first time to see this go? That look in their eye. Because football, it's one thing,
Yes,
basketball is one thing, but kids like animals.
Yeah, absolutely. That when I was a kid, I remember sitting on the fence and I just could not stop looking. I loved every bit of the bull riding. My heart was jumping. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So I imagine if that's what I was thinking, I imagine it's probably going through their head too.
And this really just isn't a sport that is it's American-based, it's homegrown, but this isn't just limited to the guys from Texas or Oklahoma or even here in West Virginia. This thing is taken off internationally as well. You've got a lot of competition outside the states.
Yes, sir. We have, like I said, Australia, Brazil, Mexico, Canada. They're all over out there, and they're really good.
How good are they compared to the homegrown talent, though? Is it pretty competitive?
Oh, it's very competitive.
Sounds like it's going to be fun this weekend.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in. And for folks who maybe want to come over and see what you guys are doing, everything starts Friday, 8 p.m. So get there early, though, right? Is there a lot of stuff happening before everything starts beginning?
It stays pretty melatonin, but to get in there and get a good seat and just to watch what's going on behind the scenes is kind of cool.
If you're a first-time watcher of this, what do you recommend for fans maybe coming in? What should they look for to maybe get the most out of this?
Just come there and enjoy it. Just sit back, breathe, have fun, and just watch it the first time. Enjoy it. Take it all in, soak it in, and then come back and really focus more onto it. But I definitely say the first time you come out, just have fun. Live it up, be loud, and just whatever you can, just have fun.
Bryan Titman joining us. This is going to be taking place on the 5th and, of course, on the 4th. Friday, everything is at 8 p.m. Saturday is going to be 7 p.m. Big Sandy Superstore Arena. Bryan, good luck out there. Pleasure meeting you, and I can't wait to pick you in my fantasy draft.
Awesome. Thank you.
More on the way. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
All right, so I figured out what I'm going to do with my life now. I'm going to become a professional bull rider. $50,000. I could earn $50,000 just by hanging on to a beast. 8-9 seconds. That's a lot more than I'm making at this job. Travel the country. If I'm successful like maybe 2 or 3 times, I mean that's at least 3 or 4 years salary here. Minimum. I mean, if I'm successful one weekend, that's more than I get paid now. I mean, sure, there might be the medical cost, the untimely death that I got to contend with, and it's a safe sport. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Appreciate everyone checking out today's edition. If you missed any part of the program, of course, you can grab us wherever you get your podcasts. That's right, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts is where you can find today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. For our producer, Gabriel Sellards, I'm Paul Swann. We'll do it again tomorrow. Until then, good night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.